and it's Free Talk Tuesday. I'm doing a little song for you all. Hello. How are we on this lovely sunny day? I actually need to open the window.
Sunny.
It is really sunny from where I am. It's
Sunny.
lovely.
Sunny out there. Have you got any sun where you are, Richard? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go, Charlotte with a slow lap.
Sorry.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. I hadn't finished updating from last time and it was just not working.
Oh, no.
You need to finish it. You gotta let it finish up, Gray.
I know,
Updating.
rookie mistake.
That's why it always says update and shut down when it ends.
Yeah. Do it at the end. Always do it at the end before you come to it at the morning. That's the thing. Right. Anyway, so AO's not joining us this week because he's up to something. I don't know what he's up to, but we might in this session. I think we're gonna be imaginative. We're each gonna think about what we reckon AO's up to. Right.
Ooh.
So I reckon AO is applying to be a new 00 agent like James Bond. That's what I reckon. Anyone else want a trumpet?
Well, since one of our topics today is A-level results, I think he's just shocked himself to pass out because he got a distinction.
Well, AO,
Boosting you up, AO. Boosting you up.
Charlotte, what do we reckon? What do we reckon AO's been up to?
He could be doing something with his son, maybe.
Oh, you see, come on, a bit more imaginative, Charlotte. That's why you've been playing Dungeons and Dragons, right? To be more imaginative.
No.
Oh, okay. He's just playing with his son. Richard, have you got anything imaginative you reckon AO's been up to?
He scrolled through Twitter and now hanging out with his wife to be happy.
He's done a Richard and gone, Twitter. Twitter. Right. Anyway, welcome to Free2talk TV. If you are watching, please give us a like. Please give us a comment. Anything we're talking about. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about A-level results, mainly from the point of view of, obviously, it's the second year now where the basically teachers have been able to give their results and what we think about that. There has been also, I don't want to say spate, just there's been a few stabbings in the last few days and before the weekend in Northampton and Wellingborough. So we'll just touch on that briefly. But then, because the Olympics has basically come to an end, so I just want to talk about the Olympics. And then I've got a special treat, which I haven't told anyone about, which is a lovely story, which I found, which I just want to share because it really made me giggle. Anyway, but how's everyone's weeks been first, Owen? Because you're away. Like, Owen, I've got to say, Owen isn't in a real bar.
No, I'm not in a real bar. This is just my uncle's little area where he has plenty of glasses, a fridge full of beer, and some non-alcoholic drinks, which is what I'm drinking right now. An appetizer.
Do you know what?
Appetizer's
Sometimes, even though obviously I've been legally able to drink for quite a while, sometimes I just go to a pub and get an appetizer because they're just so good.
I love
I really like appetizers. There's something about it.
I've been legal for the past 2 years and still choose to have appetizers instead of a beer.
And that's because everyone goes, Owen, can you give us a lift?
And then you just see me go like this.
So whereabouts is this pop-up bar, Owen, of your uncle?
So I am in Huttoft, which is just a bit south of Mablethorpe and north of Skegness.
Skeggy.
So a lot of main happy families would go straight to Skegness because it's like Blackpool. You got plenty of arcades, you got the pier, you got the beach, you got everything. Just move up a little bit up the coast a bit. It's a bit more quieter, though there are some beach areas that do get a bit rammed. That's why they put double yellow lines at last. But 1 or 2 arcades, plenty of takeout places, and frankly, I love being at my uncle's because he's absolutely bonkers sometimes. Not gonna lie, about half an hour ago, I was in his lake in a boat.
What?
Yep.
Wow. Right, this is giving me something definite to aspire to for my nephew. Then I want to be the crazy uncle, basically. I've always wanted to be the crazy uncle. Because I've always been a bit crazy. I've just been waiting for my sister to have a baby, and now she has. So now I can be the crazy uncle. It's all good. Richard, how's your week? How's your week been? What's you been up to? Anything fun?
Nothing really. It's been very chilled. I'm supposed to be on holiday right now, but personal reasons. Yeah, I was supposed to be on holiday, but personal reasons that had to be cancelled.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I know those reasons. That's cool. Well, you can still relax and pretend you're on holiday by shouting at your mum room service. if you value your life, don't do it. Charlotte, what about you? What have you been up to? Anything fun?
We played Dungeons and Dragons, didn't we?
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm really hoping to join into that.
Well, when you're back, we got the space. So yes, we had a few people drop out, but it's fine. So yeah, you've basically you and Jack have been adventuring in the town of Fandolin, which
Fandolin.
Fandolin it's called. Yeah,
are we gonna have to write some lore into this? I'm looking forward to this.
Well, there's already for some lore, and luckily Charlotte has been taking notes, haven't you, Charlotte? But also I've got to say, right? So obviously Charlotte. She's playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now Jack. Now I'm going to tell everyone. I'm going to embarrass you. So, I when people play Dungeons and Dragons, because I've been playing for many years, you always have this expectation of the young people that play it, right? They just treat it like a computer game. So it's like you describe like something that happened. They go, I want to kill it, I want to stab it, I want to do this, burn the house down, right? That wasn't Jack. Jack was like really nice, and it's like, can we make friends? The one that wanted to do all that was Charlotte. Charlotte was the bloodthirsty one. She was constantly there going,
this week, though.
Can I burn it with my firebolt? Whoa, Charlotte, whoa. It's the innkeeper. He's just getting you some food. It's all right.
Jack was quite bloodthirsty this week, wasn't he?
Yeah, Jack was quite bloodthirsty. Yeah, I think he was waiting. Maybe he was waiting for you to settle. But he was a bit going, oh, this escalated quickly. So my week has been all right. Knackered from forest schools, and I showed this earlier. Hello, Tyler Reeves. How you doing? So Free to Talk near me. I've got a community engagement day, Exeter Place, because I live in the town centre. I just find it funny that they've sent a flyer through my front door. Because also, this is on a day that I do forest schools anyway. And this is the first I found out about it. And I live here. So Tyler, I hope you're really well. I haven't seen you in ages, Tyler, because I haven't been allowed out. But hopefully we're going to get some normality, and maybe you can start coming back to Lodge Farm when we have it back on. So anyway, so I want to talk a little bit. So we want to talk about. What did I say we were going to talk about? The Olympics. We're going to do that a little bit at the end. We want to talk about A-levels, and there's been a few stabbings around town and stuff. You good? Thank you. You're moving. Where are you moving to? Tyler? So yeah, we're going to be talking about A-level results, because obviously this year all the teachers have basically been in complete control over marking after the debacle last year. Far Cotton. You see, you're only the other side of town to me. You can finally become a Far Cotton lad, like it, or ladette. I can't remember, Tyler, how you identify now. Sorry, I apologise for that. So anyway, where was I? Yes, so A-level results. We've had the teachers be in complete control of it after what happened last year. With everyone, anyone remember last year, or have you blocked it out because we're in full lockdown?
It didn't really concern me that much. It was kind of, did they still have exams last year or what?
No. So what happened last year was they did like these average grades for your school. But what normally happened is they gave everyone an average. So what normally happens is, say in normal school that we all went to, around here, like, so you have 30 or 40 kids in a class, yeah? So you have to make an average. Here's Nick. Nick, you can tell us how it's been, Nick, in a bit. Yeah, so they made an average, and what happened was basically all the schools in poorer areas, which have larger classrooms, got worse marks. Even though they were predicted higher marks. And what happened in all the private schools, where they had like 5 people in a class, even though they were predicted to have not very good grades, they all got much better grades, showing that obviously if you're rich, you get better marks, don't you?
I wouldn't say that's all good for most private schools, because my independent, which is classified as a private school, shut down.
Shut down. Okay.
That's what happened to them.
Is this because they got their marks so bad? Is that what it is?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Right. So that happened last year. Now, I feel that there's this massive thing from, I'm going to say, like MPs in government who have never been teachers before and stuff, and lots of people, they still think exams is how we should test everything. Must exam. Whereas I feel like, because Nick, who's in the head teacher in the house, so he's a very old friend of mine, very good teacher. Do you know what? If I had a kid and they went to Nick's school and Nick came to me and went, they're getting a C, I'd be like, okay, I think I trust your judgment. They should have tried harder. I should have tried harder. But I think there's this idea that all these people are saying that teachers shouldn't be able to do it. So what do we reckon? Do we trust teachers to make these marks?
I don't know, because I think there's going to be a bias in some way. If you know the child and they kind of have worked really hard, and then you feel like they deserve it, even if they might not get it. Yeah. I feel like it's I think it should be done anonymously, even though it's quite difficult to do that, obviously. But I feel like there should have been a system in place that kind of makes it a bit more fair for everyone, no matter what your background or anything like that. It shouldn't.
I mean, I know you say anonymously. I mean, Nick, you should come in on this. Really, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but definitely all the marks are double checked anyway, because they still have to be. I think there's loads of people are possibly getting misunderstood on here. With like, well, it's just that one teacher giving the marks. No, it gets checked, I think. So, I think what you say there, Charlotte, is correct. Anybody else? Any thoughts?
I still think it's a good idea, because they actually know the student well and they know of how and not they work. Obviously, they'll probably give the exam marks to another teacher not specialised in that topic, just to mark it, so it's not full favouritism of the actual topic teacher. But obviously, I understand that having it sent to an examiner outside of the school is ideal. But in this certain situation, they may as well just do it as the teachers inside the school, because at least they have an idea of how well this person's worked. If they haven't worked hard and they look like they've just got straight A's, but they know that they don't work hard, then obviously that might be a little bit of a bias situation.
I mean, I also think, obviously Nick needs to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's just because teachers it's coursework based. That's all it is. That's the main difference. It's just based on their existing work. They just don't have to go through the rigmarole of sitting in and doing an exam in 2 hours.
Well, in GCSE terms, my year was the first year to do the first system of 1s, 2s, and 3s for English and maths.
Yeah.
Everything else had some sort of coursework based. The year after, there was no coursework at all for GCSEs. So I see what you mean by that. If it was mainly coursework based, then obviously it would be a bit difficult. But for just the general exams, why not just let the teachers just do it? Because exams are easier to mark than coursework.
I don't know. We'll have to ask Nick what he thinks about that. Right. So Nick's made a comment, but I'm going to give you Richard first. What do you what are your thoughts on it? I mean, wait, have you done any exams at college at all, or are you doing a course?
I'm doing coursework.
You're doing coursework. Is that by choice because you hate exams, or is it just
no? It was actually that course.
Just actually that course. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what about at school? Did you have any exams for your GCSEs?
I didn't do my GCSEs because of COVID.
Right, yeah.
But, my grades that I got was off the mock exams that we did before we broke up.
Right, okay. Oh, it's all very complicated, isn't it? Come back the before times. Right, so Nick has said, because he's made a point, because there has been an increase in A's and A stars from marks.
Apparently
now,
45% now. When Maya did it, there was 20% got A stars and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which do you know what? there's an argument that is put forward that it's because we're going easier on young people, going easier on young people. You should work harder. Do you know what? As well as going to school, get a full-time job, get up that chimney.
But we're not in the Victorian area, James.
Well, exactly. That's my point. So Nick has said the massive inflation of A and A star grades is generally because students had a better chance to show their grades. If I had 3 students that were very likely to get an A, 1 or 2 might make a minor mistake in the exam, which will cost them. The grades in schools, his at least, were as realistic as they could be and checked, moderated, and final marks checked by multiple people for mistakes and outliers. So there we go. We've had it from the teacher's mouth. So yeah, I mean that's what I think. I mean, because I remember when this was a long time ago when I did my exams, right? I mean the exams for A level were horrific, horrible. I hated it, and I ended up getting really bad A level results. Firstly, because I hate exams, but secondly, when I did mine in the year 2000, there was a huge nationwide issue with A-level exam papers being marked wrong, like not being marked high enough, right? So I got like some C's and stuff. And friends of mine who got the same grades as me then got them remarked and got A's, but I never bothered because it got me into university. So I was just like, but once I was over, I was like, I'm never taking any exams ever again. I do not care. So I think what Nick says is really important. I think young people, you can't just base everything they learn on an exam under pressure. I think it's an archaic way of teaching. What do we think? You agree, Charlotte?
Yeah, because I've always struggled with exams during my GCSEs and A levels, and I chose a course at uni that doesn't have any exams. It's beautiful. I feel like that reflects my ability better than sitting in an exam. Yeah, I feel like I enjoy putting the work in over time, and I enjoy creating like essays and things like that, rather than just sitting the 2-hour exam and then that just being the be all and end all.
Yeah.
But I definitely think there should be a bit of a mixture, or like even a choice or something, just because not everyone suits exams and not everyone suits coursework either, but there's not a choice for coursework as much.
Yeah. I think more options is always good. Oh, sorry, God. Hola, peoples. We're live at the gym. So Lawrence has broken into the gym and put us on all the screens just to annoy all the people there. Yeah. I mean, your course. I mean, I'm just presuming you don't have any exams, but I mean, how much kind of coursework do you have?
I used to have about 3 or 4 sets of coursework for different units. And after each unit would have some sort of end performance to end. Also, it was like rehearsals and coursework parallel to each other. Yeah. For like 3 units, and then I've got other little paperwork units just dotted here and there, which are just quick term things. But the majority of it was performance and coursework alongside each other, because they had to coincide with each other.
Yeah.
If you accelerated one and not the other, then it's a bit difficult. But
yeah, cool.
That was what mine was. I can't. I'm the same as Charlotte. I can't do pressure in exams. I'm not academic.
It goes out of my head, and then all the hours of revision.
It does.
Is not worth it because I can't perform well.
Note to self, to anyone that's watching who is doing their GCSEs, hopefully next year properly, don't overnight rehearse or revise.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. Definitely don't do that. None of us have ever done that.
I did that, and believe me, I have no idea how I got a C in maths. Okay, I don't know how I did, but just don't do it. It was not a good experience.
So
having 2 hours of sleep, it was not.
So here's a fun story about my GCSE. So I did design and technology, so like a bit like graphic design at my school. It was, rather than like actual kind of making stuff. And for my exam, I had the wrong day written down. So I got the house phone, because I have mobiles. House phone rang, and it was one of the receptionists from my school. James, where are you? Your exam has started. I was like, no, that's tomorrow. She went, no, it's today. And I'm like, oh no. And she's like, where do you live? Where do you live? I was like, the bus takes an hour because it goes around all the villages. And she went, I'll come pick you up. so this receptionist came and picked me up, right? So the exam was 2 hours. Yeah. I got there an hour late and still finished before everyone else. Because I was like, oh no! And just like did everything. So don't do that because I'm an idiot. So Richard, I mean, you've kind of done your coursework through the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
And you actually ended up just getting it all done, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, if you had exams, there's no way you would have done that, but you just ended up smashing it. I mean, how did it go for you? How did you feel about
that? Stressful. Because half the stuff I wasn't in lesson 4 because of other personal reasons. So I'm like, I just don't know what to do here. Got on call with one of my teachers. He went through with me, and I was like, I can just get through this now.
Yeah.
So it was stressful at first, but after I had the talk with the teacher, it was like, I can just smash through this.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I mean, you done all right as well, haven't you?
I'll find out Thursday.
Oh, okay. Tune in to Free2talk TV next week. Find out how Richard did. So I'm just going to go through some of the comments. So Lawrence, I've just seen your comments about he's put the smart people to get to watch it at the gym. And you got B grade French in your German oral exam. It just makes no sense. And then Nick, for my GCSEs, I only found out a month before that exams that year 10 counted. Nicholas, I think you'll find all school counts generally. Apart from general studies, you can ignore that. And French. And geography. No, I'll shut up now. I'll shut up now. Shut up. Yeah, so if anyone who's watching has got the A-level results, please let us know how you felt with the teachers doing their job, I suppose, is what I'm going to say, because they are doing their job. And they're doing it well under great strain, I think. And I said geography is not important because Nick is a geography teacher.
I did geography GCSE. It was great.
Look, I didn't do geography because I already know where I am. So
if you know where you are, where you've been, you'll be fine.
Exactly. And Lawrence has asked, who took social sciences? Please tell me how you managed to blag that as a serious subject. Do you still do social sciences as an option, or is it what? How does it work?
I did PSHE, and you get like an extra qualification in that if you do it. Like you either pass or you fail it.
So what do that anymore. So what is in it? Because obviously me, Lawrence and Nick, we're old.
It's like common sense stuff. It's a bit like general studies, so it's just like just like life skills, I guess. That's
don't stick your hand in a blender that's on, that kind of stuff.
I remember in the exam there was like a picture of a kitchen and he had to like circle the hazards in it and stuff.
Honestly,
the whole kitchen.
I think it's a little bit.
Right. I mean,
that seems a bit easy if it's just that.
Yeah.
Failed though. It's just like the most ever.
Well, any subject's a bit more complicated as it is, so I'm guessing social sciences has some sort of complexity to it. So,
no, to be honest, but we couldn't even revise for it because it's like who knows what's going to come up.
Yeah, you got no idea because it's all going to be like random stuff. But I feel like right. So Lawrence has obviously taken the mickey out of social sciences, right? But Lawrence, I mean, you've definitely got your personal license. I don't know how long ago you took it, but when I took my personal license, which means I'm allowed to sell alcohol in a pub, you have to do a mini exam basically, and the questions on there are usually multiple choice, and they're written in such a way as like, you run a pub. An 18-year-old comes to the bar. Are you allowed to serve them alcohol?
This is what
yes
work, yeah.
or no.
They try to trick you, don't they?
A 15-year-old comes to the bar and orders 18 Jaeger bombs. Do you serve them? I'm like, not 18.
No.
we don't do 3 for a £5. That's well out of his price range. Very naughty. Nick said, so social sciences still includes sociology, psychology. You took both at A-level. Sticking to the friends team and citizenship. Oh yeah, citizenship. I didn't know. I forgot about that. Because I kind of think part of it, because like sociology and psychology, I mean, Nick mentioning that. So when I kind of was at school, like when I was your age, I mean, I knew nothing about psychology or sociology. It just wasn't taught at all. Like it was kind of like, and when you go to uni and you see it, I saw it as like an elective. I kind of took it as an elective because I had no idea what it was.
That's what I did. That's what I did for A level. At some of the schools, it's taught as like a GCSE, but I didn't know what psychology was, so I just chose it. It's something new. Yeah.
So still going in the right direction. Right, Loz, what have you said? Most recent question: a customer cannot hold their head up and requires another shot. Do you A, serve them, B, refuse, C, hold their head up so they can take it? So I think us taking the mickey out of social sciences is a bit off. Anyway, right. So after your A-level results, if you want to share them, please let us know. So moving on to the next thing. Because I think it's important. So in the news, there's been most recently, I think since the weekend, there's been 3 stabbings that I've seen reported. So we've had, there's a young lad who can't be named who's now in court for a stabbing that happened in Wellingborough. They basically did that overnight. And 2 people got stabbed in Northampton just over the weekend, basically. Both everyone's fine, apart from the one in Wellingborough. Unfortunately, a young man died in the stabbing, and one was seriously injured. So I just want to bring this up because obviously you're young people. Do you feel that obviously what has happened, this kind of violence and stabbing, yes, we still have an issue and problem with it, but do you think that the pandemic has made it any worse? It's a big, deep question. I could see Richard. He was like, "Oh God."
I have to think about this one.
I don't know. I think it's hard to judge because I think obviously the lockdown has had massive effects on people, say if they've got difficult home lives and things like that and they can't get out. But I don't know. What was the question again?
Do you think like the violence has increased because of the pandemic?
I think it could be a certain aspect of it, but I wouldn't say it's increased purely because of the pandemic. It could be like a contributing factor, but I'm not sure whether it's because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Owen, Richard?
I don't know.
That's fine. It's fine if you don't know.
I don't think the pandemic has increased knife crime as such due to the fact that everyone is afraid to go near each other. As much as we want to be near each other, it's the fear of being too close to cause something much worse to happen. I think if the pandemic has increased in a lot of things, it's increased in other types of physical violence within homes than outside of homes. So
that's what I mean. Yeah, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel that's more of what.
I mean, there was a definite rise in domestic violence, wasn't there, across the board with the pandemic. Lawrence, I'm going to get through your questions as we go because you've posted a lot there, and I definitely won't post that one that you put on there either. That you asked, please don't post this. It was because he was making a joke. I mean, I've got to kind of look at this in a historical way as well for me. So, do you think that violent crime has increased over the last decade?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a sharp increase? Do you think it's a massive increase or what?
I'd say it's a gradual increase. I think. Yeah. I mean, I really don't know statistics, but
yeah. So the statistics are a bit. I mean, I haven't looked at them properly, but I did look a while ago. And the thing about the statistics is what they showed is, yes, there's been a gradual increase, but it kind of goes part and parcel with increase in population. More people are here, so crime goes up because there's more people. So but there's been a definite increase over the last decade, which isn't properly sharp, but I think it's mainly linked to austerity than anything else. Because I don't know if I said about it before with Boris Johnson in London. So when he was mayor of London, he had this big thing about pushing, youth services and stuff and stopping knife crime, right? And when the figures actually went down, he went, problem solved, and then took the funding away.
I think you've told us about this story.
Yeah, so I've told you that before, because that's what happened. So here you go. Nick has done his research. So 46,000 knife crimes in 2019, 2020 versus 24,000 in 2013, 2014. So it's almost doubled.
Yeah.
So yes, it has doubled over 6-7 years. Hey Georgia, how you doing? Hope you're well. So that's increased over 6-7 years, but it's not like that. It's still kind of really, when you look at it, it's like that. And I think to kind of pin the blame on anything but austerity is kind of, because what have we had over the last decade? Oh, lots of cutting in funds of youth services, of everything else. So, but Lawrence has got some questions for you. Now, I think I know the answers to these ones, but you can answer in other places. So, do you think youngsters feel the need to carry weapons now in Northampton?
No.
I mean, Lawrence, I've got to say, like from my position as a youth worker as well. I mean, we deal with this very carefully, but almost all the young people that we engage with, like, are pretty honest about it. It's like, yeah, they might have felt these feelings, but then they've kind of thought about it or talked to someone and they feel safe afterwards. But he's got another good point here, which is, do you think we are missing a part in education over weapons and risks? Do you think there should be more done in schools or outside schools, or to talk about this, or do you think youth work is enough? Or
I think there should definitely be more education. I feel like you can never have enough education about these things. Because at school I never had any education about anything like that. I don't remember. And I mean, it's all very well if you're involved in youth clubs and things like that, but if you're not, you can be exposed to these things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, well, an alternative view is, like, whose responsibility is it then? Parents?
I think
schools, teachers
as well. I think it's like the council and just like I think it's a bit of everyone's. Yeah, I'd say it's not just one person's and not one group of people. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe people who set the curriculum as well, like politicians and things like that.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Lawrence. I've just seen another one from you. Knife crimes against someone, or including carrying and brandishing. I presume you mean the knife crimes. So without a freedom of information request, to get a detailed lockdown of kind of what all those things are, I think you'll have difficulty actually working it out. Yeah, but Owen, Richard, you got anything to add on to that? Do you think where the education should come from?
Everyone.
Well, I think
everyone.
Basically, I think parents is a good example. How they bring up their child, like if they can bring them up without having to use weapons like that, is a good idea. Is probably a more prominent idea. But obviously, schools as well is to ensure teaching and learning. If they don't learn about the physical threats of this world, then that's a missed opportunity. So I think it's both parts of that, and that's why they also encourage schools to have police officers come in to talk about it.
Yeah.
To raise those sorts of questions within schools to then educate them better.
Yeah. So, Richard, you're saying everyone still?
Yeah. It's like, just mention it like every once in a while. If you're in school, mention it like every year or something. Just say this could happen. This is what you should do if you feel threatened or this now. I don't know what you call it. We call them life lessons.
Yeah. Yeah, life lessons, a bit of that. So, so Georgia has put in. When I was a teenager, I have to admit, I definitely would have carried a knife if I wasn't more scared of the police. I guess it depends on who you hang out with and how safe your area is. I mean, I sometimes find that a bit difficult. That people will say, "Well, I would have carried a knife." I mean, that's a big escalation, isn't it, Georgia? Like, no matter how scared you are, I mean, yeah, you can be really scared, but that is a massive escalation. So, like Nick has put in, as the appearance of crime increases, so the 46,000 is still very low compared to population size, people feel the need to protect themselves more, carry knives, and sadly end being more likely to use them. So swinging a few punches, someone pulls a knife. I think there should be more education about knives being more likely, just as likely to injure the wielder. So I think that end point is quite important, right? So, because like Loz said earlier about, how many poor people are actually hurt by their own knife, which we're given, the media says is a lot, but there's not an actual figure that I can actually get. But I find that it's very similar, because Nick and Loz have both worked in pubs. Have you ever seen on films where someone smashes a beer bottle and then there's like the jagged edge and they can use it as a weapon? Yeah. Do you know that never happens? Like, ever. Never happens. Because basically, someone smashes a bottle like that and they smash all the glass. So all that ends up happening is they end up with glass in the hand. That's all that happens. That's
the whole thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So as soon as someone goes, yeah, ow, they really hurt themselves. And I think, I wonder if there's a very similar thing with knives, really. Just people just don't realise the actual risk to themselves. Yeah. To a degree. So so there's a little thing from Loz. So he's talking about army training as being useful. So you must be 16 years old to join the army. You don't do bayonet training for the first 18 months. Even then, the realization of what it does to your mind and the enemy's body compared to a bullet is trained. So I think that's a very good point. So the proper army training, yeah, you can join at 16 pretty much, but you don't do anything until you're 18. They don't put you through that. So I think in some young people, there's an idea that just don't understand the repercussions. Do you think?
No.
I
don't think they do, because they're still, technically speaking, young, and a lot of the violence that they've probably seen is from film or from games. And from films, you see the actors walking around like they've just been killed or anything. Then you see them walking around in another film like, wait, I saw him get killed. Does he not die? Or in games, you just get revived and go again. In reality, that's not how it goes. That's not how it works. So I think a lot of that stigma is in a lot of people's minds when they're young. It's why a lot of things are age range for a reason.
Yeah, I think like TV, like games and films and things sort of glamorize violence and things like that, and sort of not promote it, but in a certain type of film, they probably would promote it if it was like a gang film or whatever. And it's a good thing that they've got the age rating on them, but it doesn't. An age rating doesn't stop people from watching them, no matter how old they are. So,
well, yeah, but again, whose responsibility is that?
Yeah, I'd say the parents.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the thing. A lot of the time, it's like, oh, so I right. So again, I've got to bring this back to pubs. So when this binge drinking culture was being really heavily reported a few years ago, they blamed the pubs. It's the pub's fault. You're getting these people really, really drunk and stuff like that. But it just wasn't the case, because what people were doing is they're buying a bottle of cheap vodka at home, downing that, and then they're going out at 10 o'clock. And that's when they cause the trouble. That's what happens.
That's what everyone does. Everyone goes out for like free drinks because it's cheaper.
Yeah, free drinks.
You're steaming.
Yeah. So, and I think there's the same thing with like, well, they shouldn't make such a violent film. It's like, don't watch it.
Yeah, you don't have to watch it, do you? If you don't like it.
Yeah. Don't let your kids watch it. They're 8.
Exactly. It's your responsibility. It's not the people who made the film.
So, I mean, because I've got a point, because like I had kids today at forest schools that knew the film It, like the horror film. They knew who Pennywise the Clown was, and they're talking about Pennywise the Clown, and I'm like, what? who's let you watch this?
Quite young.
Yeah. Yeah, like 8. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so I was going to come back to Georgia. About my early comment about the escalation. So when you're in survival mode and you're constantly reading or experiencing getting jumped or people around you getting hurt, then you do think the carrying knife might be the only solution. It's not right, but it's true. Yeah, you're right. And it is difficult because your next point is about being an adult and trying to talk to them. But you just got to keep trying. Just got to keep trying. Yeah, Oh, right. Anyway, I'm exhausted now. Right. So, So if you do have any issues, or with knives, or you want to talk to anyone, you can talk to any of the wonderful local charitable organisations, including Free2talk, which is myself and Charlotte, and these boys are from. But Georgia Community Courtyard, they're based in the town centre, so you can do it anonymously. You can just come talk to us. We have talked about knife crime in our youth groups as well, and done one to work on it. So yeah, if you've got anyone watching this back and got any questions, just send us a message. Right, so I want to move on to the Olympics because the Olympics is pretty much finished, but not entirely because we've got the Paralympics to come, which I'm more excited about, to be honest.
Me too. I love the Paralympics.
I love the Paralympics. I love it's just I think it's great. So we obviously got a very good medal haul. We equaled our
quite well, don't we?
Yeah, like really good medal haul.
Yeah.
Which overall, how many was it? Overall, 22 golds, 21 silvers, 22 bronzes, so 65 golds.
Ooh,
that's just mad, isn't it? 65 medals.
65 medals in total.
Yeah, 65 medals. Japan got 27 golds, which is epic. So we came fourth on golds, but kind of third overall. Oh no, fourth, still fifth like overall by the total number of medals, which I think that's epic showing.
Considering how small of a country we are as well, I think we do amazing.
And all this young talent coming through. But it's a young talent I want to talk about. So, did anyone see the skateboarding?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And so we had the skateboarding. Does anyone know the name of the young skateboarder?
What, the British one?
Yeah.
No.
Sky Brown, right?
Yeah.
Sky Brown is her name. Let me just share this picture of her. There you go. There she is. I love the fact she's like, "Oh, I did a jump," which you could do loads of stuff much better than me. Yeah, so she had a really good showing, and skateboarding. I mean, I still remember like me growing up, and Nick and Loz might be able to put this in as well. It's like, oh, skateboarding is for creepos and ne'er-do-wells and stuff like that. And it's a sport in itself. And we got a bronze medal in the skateboarding. And do you want to know? Do you want to guess what the government's reaction was to that bronze medal? What do we reckon?
Pretty negative, I'm gonna say.
I mean, I say it's a bit unfair for me to say the government, but yeah, you see what I mean when I share the screen. So just makes me laugh. So the reaction. Oh, I've lost you all. Sorry. So the reaction was basically where all of the Olympians have been training their skateboarding skills. They're going to sell it.
What?
So we can't.
So it's got up for sale to make way for housing. So that's BMX riders and skateboarders. So Rush Skate Park in Stroud. Yeah. So it's where they're aiming to get rid of it. And I just find it really short-sighted.
Well, if they did that to just for another sport, everyone would be fuming, wouldn't they?
Golf.
Yeah.
We're not. Do you know what? Let's build on the golf courses. We can get loads of housing on those golf courses.
You could.
Absolutely swearing loads, beep loads. It's just mad. So I just feel it's a bit weird for the Olympics. So I'm just going through some of the Olympic things that have been said. So Nick, I keep seeing a suggestion come up that a normal person should be allowed to compete in all of the events, just so we can see how amazing those athletes really are, all behind Dave from Kettering competing in the cycling. I really like that idea. So, but also Loz, so he went into the Olympics to try and do shot put and hoops. And the hoops, they jumped through athletes basically begging for sponsorship, new cars and nice food, nice hotels. How does the sponsorship work, Loz? And Lawrence has said, "Oi, leave golf alone." All I'm saying, Loz, is you can build a lot more houses on one of those golf courses than you can where the Olympic team train for skateboarding and BMX. I'm just putting it out there.
A knee training thing, or
well, it's still kind of umming and ahhing at the moment, because basically the local government would be in Stroud would be saying, like, it can go up for sale, we can sell this to build houses, right? But at national level, the national government should be going, hold on, that's where our Olympians train. We're not going to let you sell it. Let's put more money into it.
That much of a plot, like it can't be that big of a land, can it, compared to some other sports?
I mean, it is a massive warehouse. It's just crazy. I just find it weird. It's mad. So Loz has said you need to apply to anyone and everyone to help fund gym membership, athletic club membership, equipment, food, supplements, everything. So with them having to do that to go through the Olympic journey, and then you're closing down where they train.
It's ridiculous.
Not having it. So there you go.
Yeah, it's a bit panned. That's right.
Again, vote for James for Prime Minister. I will put this right. But also going back to Nick's comment about having an average person do it, I think that's an excellent idea. But I also saw someone make the suggestion that at the end of the Olympics, right? Well, I don't know if you've seen like triathlons and stuff like that, yeah? You know, where they do like running, cycling, swimming, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is any person from any Olympic sport can enter this random triathlon. But when I say random, I mean they pick the three sports out of a hat. So you'd have like like Eddie, the weightlifter, the massive big weightlifter, doing dressage. I just think that's a great idea.
I think they should do that. Everyone would watch it.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, wouldn't they? Yeah. I think it'd be brilliant. Or have Usain Bolt on, you know, doing like the thing on the gymnastics. Yeah. And because he'd definitely get that in, wouldn't he? I just think it'd be amazing. So mad. Hold on. So what's the loss said? So Jessica Ennis had all the sponsorship, but as soon as she was Golden Girl, she lost the BP Jaguar Powerade, and suddenly her agent had to get her all over the screen to earn an income. So that's why she was advertising everything, is it? Is that what basically happened?
Yeah.
Sorry, Owen's just had an issue there. There we go. You're back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. So that's my rant about the Olympics. But I need to share something else. Okay. Now this is related to protest. And I think it's really important to share this because it's about the anti-vaxxers, right? So there was a huge load of anti-vax vaccine protesters, right, stormed BBC HQ. Has anyone read about this?
No, I haven't even heard.
No.
Yeah, so they stormed the BBC HQ, right? They stormed the wrong BBC HQ. They stormed the old television centre, which has been empty. They stormed the old television centre, which has been empty for years, to protest against the BBC. So I have to take the mickey out of them, because these are the people that will on Facebook and social media say, do your own research. So winding it in, I suggest you do some research back, actually. So Lawrence, have you seen the anti-vaxxers post? Vaccine means government can track you, and they use their smartphone to post it. I just think it's funny. It just made me, when I saw this, it made me like swear a lot and call them idiots. So I'm just gonna play the video a little bit actually. Let us in to the empty building.
I would have let them in to see what they do. They'd be like,
I mean, they're just. I mean, the ones at the front, like doing all this, they're just louts, aren't they? Really, they're just idiots.
That's what I mean.
There's no need.
They're trying to push their way into an empty building.
Yeah.
Like,
There's just no need.
there isn't. At least get it right if you're gonna protest.
I mean, all right, so I'm gonna stop it. I mean, look, I fully support the right to protest, right? But when your when your main line is do your own research. Just funny. Anyway, right. So I think we've talked about a fair bit there. So I want to thank everyone for coming and commenting and watching. Always a pleasure to have you on, Lawrence and Nick and Tyler, who I haven't spoken to in ages. So we're going to finish off by going through something. We want to share something that made us really happy this week. So who wants to go first? Richard?
I watched a bunch of movies with a couple of friends.
You actually went to the cinema, didn't you? So what have you seen at the cinema so far in the last week?
Only haven't been since Black Widow, which was
okay.
the week before my birthday. I've just been watching Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and that with my friends.
All right.
Are you gonna go to the cinema to watch Suicide Squad?
Maybe. I think the next movie I'm going to see in cinema is Free Guy.
Yeah. Because I'm still undecided about whether to go to the cinema or not, really, with it, because I'm still in a situation where I shouldn't really go out too much. But yeah, it's all fun and games. So before we go to you, Charlotte, so Nick has just put, one of the UK universities offered 10 prizes of £5,000 to get vaccinated. A little sad that we're having to offer large prizes to take up a free, potentially life-saving jab. And Loz has put in a good point about them trying to break into the building. As a commercial building, if they got in, they could legally squat and would take upward of 30 days to evict them. Right, I'm going to tell you all a little secret about myself. I've squatted before in a government building. Yeah. Yeah. It was turned into a community space because it had been unused for like 10 years. And I was there with a bunch of hippies, and we'd like installed some. Painted the place and put some books there for sharing and all that kind of stuff. I've had a weird and wonderful life. Charlotte, what's your happy thing?
I saw one of my friends today that I hadn't seen for a while. We went on a little picnic. It was lovely.
It's amazing. I like that.
Yeah.
And Owen?
Okay, so basically my happy thing is that I'm on holiday at my uncle's.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say first beginning of last week, reason why I wasn't around much was I was in York, the main city of York, so I got to have a look at the Viking area.
Oh, wicked.
That was pretty cool. Also got to have a look at the Shambles as well in New York. Yeah. Which is like a little short, narrow street, pretty much quite identical to Diagon Alley from Harry Potter. Great thing. And I also had a look through York's massive cathedral sort of thing. It's really nice in there. Obviously, I'm in my uncle's, as I've just said that, haven't I? He's got arcades, and I won something.
He's got arcade machines.
There's arcades in the next town, and I won something quite elaborate.
Let's see.
Quite elaborate. I'm gonna have to take my earphones out like this.
What did you win?
Oh my goodness.
It's Thanos.
It's Thanos, yeah. Oh,
I got a giant Thanos.
That is massive.
It's humongous. What did you have to do to win that?
I won about
that has to be tickets.
4,500 tickets.
It cost him £8,000.
I think I spent about 75 quid.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, so I won him, and yeah. So that's what I've been doing.
I'm glad you had fun. Right, so before I do mine, Lawrence said, "Oh, that Pim's buttoning, get it on." So he's in his uncle's little bar in the back garden. But also Lawrence has said, because he used to be, he basically used to have to evict people when they squatted. He was the bad guy. So I never got evicted. We kind of were there just for fun. Right, yeah. So my happy thing is I've just had a generally good week, but I found another video. Which I really, really like, because if you like, not, people that juggle, right? So it features someone juggling, but they're being helped by a duck.
What? Okay.
Being helped by a duck. So here he is.
Wait, what?
I thought the duck was going to be passing him one of the juggles.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah, just spinning around him.
It was just spinning around. I just thought it was just as funny. It made me laugh anyway. Right. So anyway, thanks for those that have been watching. Is it a goose? Could be a goose. Yeah, could be a goose or a duck. It's a bird. It's
cute either way.
It's a cute bird doing juggling. Yeah. So thanks, Lars. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Tyler. Thanks, Georgia. He just said 78 gym membership have stopped to watch that duck. Yes. Love it. Right, but thanks for those that have been watching. And Nick, you just stole my punchline. It's quacking either way. Anyway, thanks for watching Free to Talk TV. I've been James. We've had Richard, Owen, Charlotte, our youth news team, talking about everything and sundry. And this is where we're going to leave you, because we've all gone quackers. Yes! Get it in. All right, everyone say bye to the stream. Bye, stream.
Bye.